It's the After the Show podcast, precious.
We don't care, we're about to swear on the air. It's the After the Show, so tune in if you dare. KVJ, get your skate every single day. It's uncensored. We can say what we want to say.
All right, here we go. Hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Ooh.
Happy Tuesday. Let me go on ahead and get on this thing and get it over with so I can stop smelling that fishy, bad crotch smell we got in the studio right now.
I swear it's not me.
Our air broke, so it is hot as balls
and
in
it's heating
here.
up.
I mean, it is heating up.
What is this fishy thing that is in this shot, Virginia?
So this is half vodka and the other half soy sauce. And then you add a sardine floater.
Okay.
And that's what you smell in the air. I swear it's not me. It is the sardine floater.
Okay.
Bottoms up, bitches.
Oh, you're gonna hate this, Kevin. This is gonna be awful. It sounds like cat food.
Yeah, it's rough. Yeah, like I said, at
Do you,
least
want me
hopefully.
to, do you want to break up your fish? It's a chunk. Or do you want to take it whole?
Oh, man, don't do chunks. Chunks are rough. Just trust me on that.
Yeah, I'll just take it whole.
All right.
I think that's good. Because, yeah, I don't want little nuggets of it floating in.
Are you psyching yourself up right now? Or
I'm trying not to think about it. I'm just going to grab it and, just kind of gun it.
Strategy?
Yeah, just not
Give it
give
a little whiff. Give her a little whiff.
Yeah,
Smell it.
that's gnarly.
Smell it.
Yeah, smelling it really kind of messes with your head, actually. Yeah, that's not good advice. Everyone wants to smell it. You can't not smell it because it is very pungent. All right, here we go. You can see that bad boy right there. All right, down the hatch.
Oh, he is chugging it down. Good job. Wow, taking it.
Get it, Austin.
Taking it.
Get it,
Oh, and he got the fish chunk to prove it. It's the sodium, basically, that you would consume in 3 days.
Do not look at it.
You should have been better on winter clothes. I mean, honestly. Ooh. No one to be mad at but yourself.
Oh my God, what a fucking topic that was. Winter clothes. I'm like, what?
Winter clothes. You grew up in the snow. How did you struggle?
Because I didn't understand it. I named everything I thought that there was, because I said coats, and I go, no, name all the individual coats, dumbass.
She did.
I'm like,
She
all right,
yelled at you.
Carhartts. I didn't know that. Yeah, I couldn't figure it out in time. What it was. Yeah.
Did you get a little fish in your beard?
I got the soy.
Flavor saver.
Yeah, they kind of went around the edges of the cup because
It's hot.
as you're taking it down, it's just there's a lot because you got the vodka kicking you in the dick, and then you got the soy sauce. It's fucking twisting your balls.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that was rough.
All right, so now be funny on the radio. Go.
I know, right? It's just
Pull yourself together.
fucking clown show we do around here.
Quit your bitching.
It just doesn't end, right?
It doesn't end.
It's like you're getting slapped, and you're gonna turn on.
But you're slapping yourself.
Yeah, I know you are. Yeah, that's what it's like doing this show.
The psychosis of it is really kind of twisted.
And then there's some days where you can get 3 punishments in a day. It does not go your way.
You're just one after the other. Yeah, that's rough, man. That does not sit well in the stomach.
You're gonna have some poopy cramps later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Will you FaceTime us when you shit yourself?
Hey guys,
we want to be there.
I think it's coming.
It's like a solidarity
It
thing.
would wrap up the video very nicely.
Just me on the toilet, shutting my brains out. Okay, all right, there you go. Yeah, somebody said, Kev, you should have worn a vodka-themed shirt today. I've got on a Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey. I'm not sure I got a vodka shirt.
Do you
actually.
like? Do you like?
I can
Kenny?
get you one. I can get you a civil society vodka shirt. My neighbor makes them.
I'd love that. Yeah, I mean, somewhere in there, I think the vodka was good.
The vodka was great.
Yeah, I have no problem with the civil society vodka. I just don't use soy sauce as a chaser.
Are you a Jack Daniels fan?
No, I really don't drink whiskey too much. But you know what? I will tell you, I never used to be a hard alcohol guy at all. For most of my drinking life, it was just beer that I basically would drink, and didn't touch much else. And then as I've gotten older, I've kind of expanded. More of a hard alcohol drinker now than I am beer. I try to stay away from the beer because of the fattening elements of it.
I like Jameson as a whiskey.
Yeah, it's good.
But JD, Jack Daniels, something about that drink just does not agree with me. I think I got sick on it at one time, and you know how that goes.
Yeah.
That's why I can't drink coconut rum, because I threw up at a party. It was awful.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily like, I know a lot of country people, they like them some Jack and Coke, and yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
I like me some whiskey, though, and I like it neat, as I've learned. You've taught me that.
I don't know.
Yes, neat is with no ice and
Dry.
just take it like a man.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine that got me into the Jameson and ginger, and I was drinking that for a little while.
That is good.
I love the Jameson and ginger. Yeah, a little ginger ale with some Jameson, and I thought it was solid.
I don't like it.
I thought it was very refreshing. Well, you know what the fuck you're talking about.
I don't like Jameson. It doesn't sit with me right.
Yeah, you've had it with the ginger ale?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Many times.
We had a drink. It was the night you gave Panda a pain pill for I think his headache.
He had a headache, so I gave him a Vicodin.
What?
Which may have been a little extreme in retrospect.
Or was it? Or he had a cold? Or I don't know. It didn't. The pill didn't match up with his ailment.
No.
And-
And turns out he has a big allergy to Vicodin, to codeine. And was ralphing for a good 30 minutes
I
after.
think I have that same kind of allergic. But we were drinking, and you can't remember what it was. It was something maple. It was maple.
Maple Crown.
That's what it was.
Yeah, we have Maple Crown.
But we were drinking it with, I think, ginger ale and maple crown. Does that sound right?
That does sound right.
And we loved it. It was cold out. It had a good taste to it.
I could see pairing Maple Crown with a ginger beer. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah, so as I've grown a bit, I never thought that I would like bourbon. And then I remember the Queen and I, we went to a dinner that they had at Kuro, I believe is the name of it. It's at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino.
Oh,
it's the
fancy.
Japanese restaurant they had there.
Okay.
And they did the kind of dinner where they do a drink pairing with each course.
Fancy.
Yeah, and they brought out a bourbon drink, and I'm like, all right, well, it's alcohol. I don't want to be a dick. And so I started sipping on it. I'm like, this is really freaking good.
Was it neat or was it a cocktail?
It was a cocktail. They had done something with it. It wasn't just straight bourbon.
Straight bourbon, I have tried the best of the best. And I just don't get down with it.
Is that what you make an old fashioned out of?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
You're more of a cocktail guy than a shot shooter or a drinking it neat, right?
But
no,
you like tequila neat.
I drink tequila neat, yeah. And that's just with no ice, just straight up. And I put just lime juice in that. That's my number one go-to.
And that you like the way it tastes?
Yeah, I do. I do like the way it tastes. And the thing that I love about it most, it just burns clean. You put that in your body, and my body just can. It's like, okay, we know what to do with this.
We're cool.
Yeah, we can fire right through it. And so I like to try to stay now with what I know. And you don't need a lot of it. You just need a little bit to kind of get you to that cool, relaxed place. And you're like, okay, this is all good.
Yeah, my girlfriend brought over gin, and I'd never get down with gin, and it did not agree with me.
You know what they say? Gin, make you sin. Gin makes me naughty.
They only say that because it rhymes.
No, gin has a definite different burn than vodka for me. In my system, when I get gin in me, I don't know, I get real squirrely.
The one that gets me is tequila. When I'm drinking tequila, I'm ripping my shirt off and I'm a fucking werewolf.
Well, let's see them titties.
Give me tequila, you'll have these titties galore.
I think it does. Yeah, I think all alcohol does burn a little bit differently. I think that's the key is you got to know where you are and, what kind of works.
You got to ride all the ponies to know which one pets you best.
I think vodka might relax me more. I think whiskey kind of gives me energy. And then everything else, I don't know. it gives me the hornies.
That's how you get, huh?
Did the gin get you horny with your girlfriend?
No, it got me too sick. I wanted to. I was excited to try a different liquor, and I thought you had talked about gin. It was kind of cool. And
my oldest son, Colin, that's his favorite. He loves gin. In fact, his dog's name is Juniper because you get gin from the juniper berry. So he loves it so much he named his damn dog after the berry it comes from.
And he works at Corsair, a distillery that does a lot of gin. At least he used to. Is he still there?
No, he's not with Corsair anymore.
Oh, where is he now?
Right now he's doing some bartending. I think he is going to be heading to Chicago.
Oh.
And so, he's just waiting for the right moment. So he's doing some bartending stuff so he understands what pairs and how to mix it all up because he's fallen in love with the craft cocktail game.
So there's an opportunity in Chicago for him in that world?
Yeah. I think he and his boyfriend are going to head there and do that. And, the cool thing, too, is, we got some contacts in Chicago. My wife is from that area. And so I think he's going to head there. And then also, I think the biggest gay bar in the country is there. And so they might, at least his boyfriend might go try to work there. I've been there with their buddy Duffy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in a really cool area. What it was kind of on a block, and they started taking over little businesses right next to it, and they just kept expanding. And so each room you walk into, it's got a whole different flow to it.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and so you go in there. It's interesting because going into a gay bar today, I'm a sports bar guy. So I do all the straight guy kind of stuff. But it's interesting to go and see a gay guy kind of bar because they have TVs all over this bar like it's a sports bar. I was like, ooh, cool. But I'm looking, I'm like, what the fuck is this stuff? And I'm like, what are they watching? And it was like show tunes and gay movies, and they know the scenes, and they turn it down, and they all start acting it out as it happens. I'm like, yep, I'm in a gay bar. So, like, can we get one of these on ESPN? Like,
just
no.
One. Just
out of
one
here.
on ESPN.
Yeah, no, I'm like, just one, like, breeder, no. That's like a gay insult to me, breeder.
Can we just get one TV? No.
Yes. So there you go. So I think they're hopefully going to go, and that's a really nice area. Gosh, the name of the place escapes me right now. But one of our KVJ Nationers, she had said her uncle owns it too, and then our buddy Duffy he's a regular there. He's there all the time. It's not too far from Wrigleyville.
Okay.
Which is a great part of Chicago.
I love Wrigleyville. It's so charming.
It is, yeah. And my best friend from high school, he kind of lives in that area too. So got a lot of connects. Yeah, Chicago feels almost like a second city for us. I know they call it the second city. It's a good little place. So yeah, I think that's his trajectory right now. He's heading for that. Got some emails here today. Alyssa said, Kev, I'm a little worried like you are about the TV show Severance that is big right now. In fact, we were talking about Ben Stiller earlier in Nepo Babies. That's his project. He's promoting the crap out of that show.
Okay.
And he's the one that's guiding it, putting it together. You're seeing some of his friends popping up in the show, and
he's a director too, a writer and a director as well.
He is, and you can kind of see, and they had asked him, they said, okay, well, do you know where this thing is going? Because like I said, it has the feeling much like Lost in the sense where they breadcrumb you and they have Easter eggs all through it and little things to look for, and now you've got people who are so into the show, which I'll never be because I don't have that kind of time.
Right.
But the people who are analyzing every scene and every little number and line. And
here's what this means.
Everything's hidden imagery in the show. And it's kind of cool when somebody explains it quickly to you, but I'm not going to sit there and, go to the fan sites and all that crap.
You're not going to hit pause and try to absorb and Google?
Yeah, no. Alyssa sent me the Instagram site, and I did go there and check out some of the videos. And it did add more depth after every episode I've watched.
Okay.
Because I'm not smart enough to pick it up when I'm watching it. I'm like, TV. Moving pictures, and at the end, when you explain what I saw, I'm like, okay, it makes sense.
Do you ever do this when you're watching a movie that's, especially if it's based on a true story? you hit pause and go, I gotta look this shit up. Did this really happen? Did any version of what they're trying to tell me?
Yeah.
Because you're watching, go, that's fucked up. I didn't know that really happened.
Big time. Yeah, I do that with history and religious stuff. So
Yeah,
I'm a big screw, especially on religious stuff, because they throw a lot of crap in there that I'm like, that didn't happen.
I do really like learning about religion.
Yeah, it's a fascinating thing. It really is.
Well, I like learning about what people believe, no matter if you believe in something or if you believe in nothing. And I'm always kind of curious, why did you get there? What makes you believe whatever you believe? And it's never to be offensive. I'm legitimately curious.
Learning.
Even if you're not religious, it has shaped your life. The three main religions in the world the pull and power that it still has. And to me, it's fascinating to say, okay, well, why do humans go all in on religion the way that we do?
And it's just it's curious to see what people think after they leave this rock. What do they believe in? That's the one question we all don't really know.
I've spent a life pursuing it, and I feel like there's something innate in us, and it's been, you look at every culture there's ever been, and they have a pulling to a god or a higher being or gods or whatever it might be, and I think there's something that's kind of programmed in us to look for that, but I think that probably all the religions have been bastardized to a good point.
Well, that's because people take over it.
Right.
When
and have ruined it.
When you get humans involved, I'm not trying to say fuck humans, but we have some time. We have some tendencies I think we need to work on.
Yeah, that's why I kind of try to recognize where man has their fingers in religion and what they've kind of said and how they probably ruined it and get down.
Fingers.
Yeah, and so recognize where man has gotten involved with this, and then kind of boil it down to the spiritual part of it. And kind of separate the two. So that's kind of where I am in my walk of faith.
And I think there is a difference sometimes between spiritualism and religion.
Yes.
I think they definitely cross over, and it's kind of different to me, at least.
It is. I would say that I am no longer religious, and I don't necessarily believe in a lot of the dogmas of the big religions, but I am more spiritual than I ever have been, and I believe in God, and I believe in a connection.
Yeah, I just feel like there's so much detail out there, and there's so much fascinating things. Something's got to be moving this thing along.
Well, it's pulled. There's not really a civilization's been around. That's that shot talking. Civilization. I'm over here talking, going deep on religion. I'm like, sorry, y'all, I just drank some vodka.
You want another one?
And it's hot as fucking.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so hot.
Now's about the time
No,
to
I'm not,
have another one.
No, I got to get my mother-in-law's Volkswagen home. So, yeah.
I love talking religion with drinking on a public airwave. I think it's awesome. What could go wrong?
Yeah. So to cut it real short, it's just I've kind of come to that place where. I am to the point where I think there's a connection. I think all of the different cultures that have been out there have been pulled to something in the stars and something connecting them. So I think that we all have a recognition, whatever the creator is. I think it's put that in us.
And with nature, you look at nature, and there are just some awe-inspiring things out there you can't really even explain that are so beautiful. Something had to have designed it. Now, what that is, I don't know. But it feels like something would.
To me, the coincidence of this Earth, the way it looks and the beauty that we have on it, and we have not anywhere close to us. We don't even know if there is a habitable planet like what we have anywhere at all.
I thought we're doing weird whatever right now.
Sorry about that.
Habitable, hard word to say when you're drinking.
No, you're right. Yeah, he got me going. I started off with tequila or vodka or whatever the hell I just drank. Talked about tequila, which I think got me drunker.
Habitable.
And here I am.
Habitable.
See, I'm not even drinking, and I fucked it up.
You're trying to get on a tit.
So Alyssa basically just said with Severance is that Ben Stiller has an ending all planned out. He knows pretty much where it's going to go. So that's good. That's comforting. So hopefully their plan was good and it has a good resolution. Because, there are some shows. That was a problem. To me, Lost is always the show that had a great concept that they didn't know where they were going and they didn't know how to finish it.
That is the truth.
Yeah, and to me, that is the blueprint for how not to do it. If you were going to design a show, be like, okay, it should be 3 seasons. Here's the beginning, middle, and end. This is where we're going, and we know when we finish and when we're there. even if we are the most popular show on the planet of all time, we're not going to do any more because we know it's just done.
I cannot stand when I love a series and all of a sudden, season 4, they bring in some new character that just kind of torpedoes everything and takes it almost in a different direction.
That's almost like it's almost like they've done well and they realize, okay, we got to stretch this out. So let's introduce a new character to try to get that extra season out of it.
Not to say the new character can't be awesome, but a lot of times it just takes the show in a different direction.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. Got Candace, she said, have you guys seen Blink Twice? Watch it, especially Virginia, since it does have this female empowerment tone.
Oh, Blink Twice.
Show. So what night, whatever night you watch that, I'm calling in the next day.
I'll come in here all chest puffed out.
Oh, real big attitude towards men.
Looking for a fight.
She said, keep in mind it is twisted. If you keep some of the Diddy party info in mind, you'll be shocked at the similarities with Blink Twice. Okay.
Thank you.
There you go. And she also said, I think you guys would like Bob's Burgers. Honestly, Virginia, you could watch it with Rocco. It's very much a family show, and it's got a lot of adult humor in it.
I feel like Rocco has watched Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, I think my oldest son, Colin, I think that's a show he likes. He likes that, and I think a show called BoJack Horseman.
Yes, that's another cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rocco's got a good sense of humor, too, so he gets what's going on.
He gets it. I don't know how he gets it, but he just gets it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We got a comment here about the anxiety song. Boy, that Doechii. This is a girl who 2 months ago I had no idea who she was. And then I can't remember what it was. I think I just saw the name. I'm like, well, let me see what this chick's all about. Because, yeah, I think, you know what? I saw she was Grammy nominated.
Dolce Cat?
No, not. Nope.
Doja Cat.
Dolce Cat?
Nope.
That's Doja Cat.
That's Doja Cat.
You just put two artists together, you insulting prick.
I'm trying to keep up, y'all.
No, Doechii is.
Doja Cat.
Doja Cat. Denny's can make a mashup of
Denny's.
Doja Cat and Doechii.
You need to do a mashup.
Also, probably need this this audio for the worst of the week on Friday.
Yeah, no, so I jumped into it, and the thing I loved about it was I like a certain kind of hip-hop. And I told you, I started bitching probably about 8 years ago. They started coming out of that mumble rap and all
The
that.
lazy rap, yeah.
It was Migos and that kind of stuff, and my daughter was listening to it. I'm like, this is just shit.
It's just shitty.
I didn't like it. I was like, you're just making noises.
I agree with you. I so
That's like-
prefer the sound of like Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Well, yeah.
Like that's some good
I like
stuff.
Kendrick Lamar. Common is one of my favorite. To me, hip hop, when it's got lyrics, it just cuts through and it's smart and it's got good tempo and hooks and it's got everything with it. It sounds like it's crafted. All that mumble rap crap that we had, I think it's still popular because I still hear it around, especially in the sports football field. They're listening to and all the free. I can't identify one song from the next. They all sound the damn same to me.
I rolled in with some Bone Thugs and Harmony this morning.
Okay, yeah, you're going old school.
Old school.
But the thing I like about Doechii, to that point, and the same with this new song, Anxiety, it sounds like some of the East Coast old school common kind of rap that it's got a vibe to it. It sounds really cool. It's almost like a mix of alternative music with hip hop.
I love a vibe.
Yes.
I thought the Snoop audio sounded good of him doing Gin and Juice.
Yeah, that's just a great
He kind
song.
of sped up the tempo a little bit.
Yeah, he's still. I mean, he's just so. To me, it's an art form, and he's so great. I saw Doechii as Billboard's 2025 Woman of the Year. So somebody who I didn't even know of 2 months ago. I mean, talk about somebody she's all over the place now.
You just started too. Wow, that's
Woman
amazing.
of the Year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like an awful big title for someone so fresh.
And it's only March. And
Is it just
True,
for
yeah.
like, is it for up and coming new?
That's a good question. I don't know if it's a reflection over what they've done over the last year or if it's a projection of what they expect to be popping in this next year.
Reflection or projection?
Yeah. I don't know which way Billboard's taking it.
You didn't even realize, but you were just flipping it.
Yeah. It's a very profound question, Bert. I don't have the answer to.
Please let me know.
To me, it should be a projection because I think she's kind of on the scene. I think this song Anxiety is going to be huge because it's got a great sound to it, and she's on it. And Tracy said, yes, the TikTok trend, and that's the other thing that really drives these songs. She said, with people dancing and their anxieties behind them, they actually took this from a scene that came from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It was when Will comes into Ashley's room when she's dancing the same moves. So there's the explanation of what you're seeing.
Okay.
Okay.
I like the concept of it's your anxiety that you're like, okay, I'm fine. And you're like, oh my gosh, my anxiety, it's right there. It's always with me. It's in step with me.
I like the concept of getting you two in the booth to spit that truth and get down.
I wish I was good like that.
We'll get you there.
You will? Yeah. It might take years. But I'm happy to do it. Still some ideas people are kicking out about the March Madness bracket. I think I feel pretty good about settling on the South Florida events because we have not done that and I really think we can get. You need at least 32 to make it good, and I think we've got that. I was looking at the list from the top to the bottom. We just got so much stuff, and it'd be kind of interesting to see what would come out number one. If you had to honestly say, what is that number one event that hits the hardest of all the events that we have?
Tortuga.
It's not. I thought that. I mean, Tortuga's massive, but I mean that's a country audience primarily. I know they do have some other stuff.
Ultra.
And I thought about that too, but that's limiting as well because I know people on Brick will be like going, "There's another kind of music other than EDM."
Both things I won't go to.
Yeah, they're both niche music formats, and that's the only reason. So I was like, "What cuts bigger than that?"
Ragtime Fest.
Could you imagine?
The fest that nobody asked for.
It'd be interesting to put on a shitty festival, just see how few people would show up.
We would actually pull a crowd for Ragtime Fest as a joke.
Yeah, remember we were gonna do some other fest where it was bizarre. Was it an Invisible Fest or we were gonna do some stupid shit that it was so stupid it was awesome, and it was a festival.
You just described our show.
What was that? It was kind of gonna be a dumb thing, but it kind of played. Oh, what was that? The chat room's got to help me out on this. We talked about doing it.
Not the Naked Olympics, huh?
No, because that's good, or at least it's gross.
Yeah, and Angie said, I miss Buzz Bake Sale. That was kind of interesting because I had that conversation about that. We were talking about, because, they just did the Reb Roundup and, those shows and how important they were. And, I look at the buzz and you talk about branding for that radio station that used to be an alternative station. We had it here next door to us. It's a very solid station. It was great. They always had great air talent, and that Buzz Bake Sale was really cool. And the branding on that is kind of interesting because I think that half of the recognition on the street of that radio station was their freaking concert.
I would agree with you on that.
Maybe even more. I mean, that's how important that concert was to that radio station. If you would have talked to people and said the Buzz, probably more than half of their fans would have followed it with Bake Sale.
People still bring it up. They talk about it.
They were good concerts, and it hit in that era too, in the early 2000s. I remember when they're putting that on, where that was really strong for those hard rock acts that fit on that station.
There was a lot of good music during that time period, especially with the Buzz, and they used to do this thing on Sunday, and it was the Buzz, but very, very lighter songs that were a little bit easier.
Yeah, I remember that.
But they still rocked.
It was good.
You may hear a Foo Fighters song, but it's an acoustic version. And sometimes they play local people that was really, really cool. And it just had such a peaceful vibe on a Sunday. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, very solid station. I definitely miss it.
People put respect on that name.
Yeah, they were good. The only alternative that we have now in South Florida is the Shark, and they do a good show on Fort Lauderdale Beach, and they usually get good acts on that, which probably shouldn't even snooze on that. That was good, and look, I mean, props to our old company that they did the Jazz in the Gardens last weekend. That audio we played yesterday was kind of going national today, where they had Doechii up there with Lauryn Hill.
Wow.
Speaking of which,
that's a bill then.
Yeah. I mean, I was solid. They were doing.
You got the up and comer with the legendary Queen,
and they were doing, and where it all kind of tied in. What made it go viral was they were singing Killing Me Softly.
Strumming my
Yeah,
pain
so you got
with
the
his
recent death of the original
fingers.
artist, and then so it all
And
just
if
kind of
we
worked out.
sign on Doechii Cat.
Doechii
Doechii Cat.
That needs to be your next alter ego.
No,
Mm-hmm.
I got too many. I gotta
You gotta scale it back.
scale it back.
I don't know. We're about to debut Captain
I
Crust.
know he's gonna be around.
Captain Crust will be making his debut this month, Kevin. It's very exciting.
I know, yeah, I've heard the word.
The power of pizza.
I've seen the suit in the post. It's really impressive, that suit.
I will not limp during that.
You better not.
I can't. You can't. You can't.
Kind of bitch ass
You can't
superhero
be a
limps
superhero
in.
limping around. Yeah,
No.
I,
Did you notice there's not a superhero that's ever limped?
I know. I
Do
know.
we have that?
Get it
No.
together.
No.
Step it up.
The way my mask is too, I might have to trim down this beard. I'm not sure. There's a lot going on. I got a lot of projects.
Just don't trim it near the pizza.
No, I will not.
It reminds me, though, do you guys remember the TV show In Living Color when we were kids?
Yes.
Do you remember a character they had, Handyman?
Yes.
Yes.
Very offensive. You could never do that.
You could never do it.
I was just thinking about that. Yeah, he was handicapped. He was a handicapped superhero. And I was like, oh my gosh, could they do I mean, even then, I think, what was that,
Even
late
then.
80s, early 90s? It was edgy. But, I mean, if you did Handyman today,
That was the Wayans brothers.
it was. Yeah.
There's a lot of shit you could do today, and I'll watch some older stuff, and I again have to Google, hit pause, and go, is this a thing? Are people calling this out?
Yeah,
And
if I
they
remember right, he
usually
walked
are.
handicapped. He had like a handicap. He had like he was talking like he was handicapped. I was like, I had that imagery. It just popped in my head. I'm like, holy crap! Could you imagine if that came on the TV now?
Oh, they would
What's
burn
going
it
on?
down.
Oh my
They would
gosh.
find the studio and burn it
I
down.
think they probably would.
There's a
But I mean, you know,
Yeah.
they should. It's
there's
not right.
a scene in the movie Meatballs where Bill Murray chases around a girl who does not want to be. She's like trying to say, "Stop touching me! Stop touching
Right.
me!" He
It's
holds
everything.
her down.
It's
bites
no
her
square. It's
ass.
everything you talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, and then a guy walks in, and then Bill Murray goes, "She just jumped me," and you're going, "This is so
What?
rapey and awful."
Yeah, and they almost had that attitude. It's like even though she says no, she means yes.
Right.
It just you watch the scene and you go, "What the
Right.
shit?" I instantly go, "Weird Bill Murray scene from Meatballs." And did anyone, do a blog about
Yeah,
it? And
every
there was
now and
some
then
shit.
these things that from my youth, I'm like, gosh, at the time because it was just the standard of the society, you didn't think too much about it, but now you're like, oh my gosh.
I was watching a documentary not too long ago, and it was a flight attendant talking about how, oh, yeah, these passengers, they're so naughty. The guys have a few drinks on the flight, and they grab my butt, Oh, they're so naughty. I'm like, whoa.
What the fuck?
Like, she just put up with it as part of her job.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
just expected that if you were a flight attendant, you were going to have to play a little ass grab with first class.
The
Right.
poor women who were in wrestling.
Oh, I
That was
bet.
not
Yeah.
a good industry, especially in the bad days where there was drugs and some bad shit would happen.
Rhonda, she gave us a bracket idea. She thought best movies. And yeah, I mean, that could be something. It's sometime. I think the one thing I wonder with that is you have some movies and Star Wars, The Godfather. Does that still play with everybody? Wizard of Oz, Pulp
Yeah, they
Fiction,
do.
Grease, Toy Story, Forrest Gump.
People love them. I just feel like, haven't we done that before?
Well, somebody had sent an email yesterday and they said, I think you were confusing your KVJ draft as you guys were going through talking about what you had done for brackets because they said you've only done it like 3 times.
Oh.
And you kept saying like all these different categories. Like, no, you didn't do it. That was your KVJ draft where you done it there.
Are we
but
sure?
you hadn't done it for a bracket. I'm not positive about anything.
I'm so
Thank God people have better memory than me because I can't remember it.
Hey, you guys remind us of shit.
Because I don't know. I have to ask you. I'm like, did we do that? I don't remember.
We don't know.
Yeah. So, yeah, I couldn't do that. Chicago Lulu said, what about food item by city or state? The only problem is, with a majority of the audience in South Florida, I mean, we do have people all over the place, but I just, wonder if it would be a disconnect because I know there's some places. In fact, speaking of Chicago, I saw Portillo's seems to be popping up all over Florida now. If you don't know, Portillo's is where they have, is it the beef on weck or it's I can't remember if that's what they call it, but my wife and I, we always
Beef
go
on
to,
weck is buffalo.
Oh, that's okay. I've heard the name. So we get it's the It's the au jus,
Yes,
the
you
beef
dip it in.
sandwich. Yeah, we always, my wife and I, we find that. We'll walk, and it's a good little walk from where our hotel usually is on the Chicago River. We go there. Portillo's is absolutely unbelievable, and now they're really invading South Florida.
That used to be one
Or
of
at
my
least Florida. I don't know if they're really down here yet.
those sandwiches. I used to love those things.
Oh, they're fantastic.
But you dip it. You get it
do.
wet.
Well, the bread is so soggy and damp, and
Yeah.
it's soaked up all and that's how they want it. You want it soggy, and
Oh, I love soggy bread.
do you?
I like when
Then
it
you
gets-
love Portillo's.
Yeah, I like getting it wet. I like getting it saucy.
Yeah. Chicago Lulu said, yeah, they're not down here yet. Hopefully they'll get down here because Portillo's is next level. And they're starting to
Portillo's
expand.
ships, so you can go on. You can go online, and Gold Belly will ship you Portillo's. I think Portillo's might ship too. But my dad sent it to us one year, the whole kit and caboodle, to make the Italian like chipped beef or whatever they call it.
Yeah. That's what they call it.
It's a whole sandwich with everything, but they send you all the ingredients in this giant box.
Got capicola in there.
I think it's a roast beef.
Roast beef, capicola.
I'm wondering if the delivery game is changing some of these regional restaurants' philosophies on how they do it. Because I saw that White Castle is going to be opening up 3 new locations in Orlando. And with the Portillo's, I'm wondering, because if you open up one hub in a certain area, people could order food from that Portillo's that you could deliver, even if they're not necessarily getting there. I'm wondering if they're saying, okay, if we can just open up a location in this area, we can provide and crank out a bunch of food for that whole area based on delivery drivers.
Does White House or White Castle, do they ever... Do they remind you of B.O. sometimes, the smell of
Yeah,
them?
because of the onions.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that today when I was reading how they're opening up 3 new locations in Orlando. And, you know...
Not as good as Crystal's.
Yeah, they were big.
Not according to me.
Yeah, they were big in Ohio. I don't know where they're from, but yeah, they were big in outside of around Columbus.
They have them in New York. Like,
Okay.
I think it's a North thing.
It is definitely a North thing.
The other thing, too, some burgers have this and others do not. When you're eating it, there's a hard bally thing in the meat.
Gristle,
called
yeah.
cartilage.
Yeah, gristle, cartilage, yeah.
Fucking wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll get it every now and
And
then.
not every, but there's restaurants that have it way more, that lead the league in the gristle ball.
Yeah. I remember the most surprising thing I got in a burger. We didn't have Burger King in Southeastern Ohio yet. We'd only had McDonald's. And so we had heard of Burger King, and they brought a flame-broiled truck through town, and people just lost their shit. I mean, a town that has nothing and nothing exciting ever happens, 6,000 people. And they brought this Burger King grill truck through. And I got it in my first bite, I remember, the Burger King char-grilled burger. I was like, kunk. And I hit something like, what the hell? It was a big nugget of charcoal.
Oh.
So they were using charcoal to cook the burgers, and somehow one got lopped up into my burger, and they served it to me.
Cold
and
burger?
the first bite I had of Burger King had a chunk of charcoal in it.
That's bullshit.
And it kind of ruined me. I got to admit, I've never really fully invested into Burger King after my first bite was charcoal filled.
Damn.
Burger King's just always been shitty.
Well, it just was for me. I've always been like, I don't
You're
feel the
only
same
as
way about
good as
Burger
your
King.
employees. And if some jackhole drops a piece of charcoal
You're
on
right.
the burger, it's not Burger King's fault, but I mean, it kind of is.
But it sticks with you. I
Yeah.
mean, I was probably junior high when I had that. It's still my first thought when I hear Burger King. It's an immediate reaction. I think you're gonna eat a chunk of charcoal in your burger.
Did you fight through it, though, and finish?
Yeah, I was fat.
Yeah.
I probably ate the charcoal too. I probably put it right back in my mouth. Like, it's not
Error. I've had worse. Pizza crossing pizza.
Yeah, I think it was at my primordial fatness. That's just kind of how it went. Dr. A said you guys were talking about the sex ed and the songs that go along with it, and I was listening to your discussion about that, and as an educator, I can tell you that sex is a non-issue for my students. I'm a professor, and my 18 to 20-year-olds, for the most part, don't drive, don't drink, don't do drugs, and don't have sex. the computer is their world. They get their serotonin from the metaverse. It's the new world. There are exceptions, but not many. Welcome to this century.
Oh, yeah. People are watching people pork online. You know, porn. Not that I have to mansplain porn.
Thank you for telling us what porn's all about.
But I think you're right. I think those kind of relationships are being developed through technology now and not real people.
It's fascinating to watch. And even Tyler Cameron, when he was in here, he's only 30. And he, had said to me, he's like going, like in our generation, like I'm even close to his generation, but he said, in our generation, yeah, we were partying. He said, these young kids today, he's like, it's crazy. They really don't drink. I was like, yeah, I'm kind of starting to really see it. The numbers are, I didn't believe the numbers, but as I talk to more and more people, and yeah, it doesn't seem like it's really the kids in their late teens and early 20s don't seem to have these same fixations that we did.
When they get old and jaded, life beats them down.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it does flip at some point and what it is, but kind of crazy.
That is weird.
Yeah, but I'm hearing it from a lot of people that that seems to be the case, is that it's not what it used to be.
But the weed they like, and I think they like the mushrooms too, no?
Yeah, I do think that it is more prevalent, but I think some of them, they just don't. I think for some of them, it's nothing. It's neither, which to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you make it through life sober? But I guess they're finding a way. I know, I can't believe it myself.
That's the most honest statement we've heard all day.
Yeah.
Maybe because they've seen us.
Yeah,
that turns them off.
Yeah, I do think that might be part of it because I look horrific when I've been drinking, and that's most of my life. So I'm sure my kids probably have some scars and are like going, yeah, we don't want to look like that, and I wouldn't blame them. I tell them, I go, you don't want to look like this. So it's
a good thing Daddy doesn't have a mirror when he's drinking.
Yeah,
Shut
right.
the hell up and give me my tequila.
Exactly.
Daddy has no idea how terrible he looks.
I do have an idea, but yet I keep doing it, which is what is even worse. I know how bad it looks, and let's do it again.
Now it's a habit.
You're right. Yeah, or a problem. So one of the two.
Both.
Yeah, or both. All the above. All right, well, thank you for the conversation starters and all of the thoughts that you had for us today. You can always send it in, mail@kvjshow.com. Y'all enjoy your Tuesday. See you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.